Alright guys, be sure to smash that like button if you're ready to thrust those hips. So a while back we made a video called the top 3 glute exercises for bros. Bros need to work those glutes too, it's an important thing. So if you're a guy or girl watching this, you're at the right place. We're going to start off with 3 common mistakes and dive in with some more detail. First mistake, and this is an easy one and a very common one at that, is obvious as it seems, everyone makes this mistake. It's not actually thrusting your hips through, it's doing a half rep of sorts. If you don't actually get your pelvis drilled forward and really drive through and finish that rep, squeeze those glutes as you do it, then you're not really doing much at all. You're kind of just doing a half rep, you're kind of just raising your hips and looking a little bit silly. That's why I recommend using a lightweight and just driving it up and squeezing it and really learning how to lock through that pelvis. As silly as this all sounds, it's critical to actually doing this and actually to work those glutes and learn how to thrust your pelvis. Tip number 2, guys, is knowing how to do this exercise to actually make it work. So past just driving through, there's a bit more to it. To start off, you actually need to know how to set up properly. So the key point here is to kind of push those rhomboids back, be in that strong position, and be in a good position where you can lean back and get ready to thrust. If you kind of have your back curved, overextended this way, you're kind of padding your back, as I like to call it, you're not going to be able to thrust through because that's not natural at all. You need to be in that strong position where your hips can actually push through. So on the concentric portion of the rep, you're going to go all the way up, like I said, thrust through, really squeeze those glutes and have that feel. From here, as long as everything's in a good position, on the negative of the rep, okay guys, the eccentric portion, you want to go slow and you want to start by disengaging your glutes first, taking the tension off there and dropping your pelvis slowly afterwards accordingly. Go all the way down and get that nice negative because that's really going to help. It's not about just swinging through 600 pounds, it's about doing this exercise properly. Now on the concentric portion, you want to make sure you're exploding up and really learning how to explode through your hips while still getting that contraction. Start off, go a bit slower, but once you get better, you should be able to explode up a serious amount of weight, really squeeze into your glutes and your pelvis, and then on the negative, in turn, like I said, learn how to utilize the eccentric to help grow your glutes and strengthen your pelvis and your thrust. Mistake number 3, guys, and this is huge, is actually knowing where to set up your back on the bench. As you guys can see, we have this cool little thing that's actually made for hip thrust, and this would be the ideal thing where you can actually thrust past the movement of the bench. But not everyone's going to have that, and we understand that. So you guys can see where Kyle has his back set up here on the bench. This is appropriate. This is what you want to do. You don't want to be too far down, you want to be too far up. That's going to be a big issue, and it's very critical that you maintain this positioning and you have your legs in a strong stance where they're kind of separated, where you can actually drive through and get that full thrust that I was talking about.
Step is take a pad and you're gonna wanna put it right around there. If you don't have access to one of these, use a yoga mat, a sweater, a towel, anything that's gonna take away the pain from your hips.
Okay guys, so when it comes to performing the exercise, I like to set my feet up around shoulder width and have my hands just outside of my hips. Now, one thing you guys really, and I can't stress this enough, is you guys want to make sure you're getting a big contraction and you're fully thrusting through. This one that we're using here is a bit fancy because it tilts back, but you guys are just going to use a regular bench, set your feet up nice and close, and squeeze all the way through to the very end. If you guys can't perform this exercise properly using the tips that we provided for you throughout this video, don't be a hero, lower the weight. You don't have to be doing 400 pounds to actually feel it in this exercise. So do what you can properly using the tips we provided, and hopefully all of these tips helped you guys out.
One of the biggest mistakes I see with hip thrust is that people don't actually extend. Josh already talked about this a bit, but what you want to make sure you're doing is you want to make sure you really thrust out the very top of the motion. This is the biggest common mistake I see, is kind of just going like up. We're doing like 3 or 4 plates, like up, up, whereas where you're supposed to really go like boom.
That's where you get all
see
the
the hips
squeeze.
really lock out.
Alright guys, that's it. Subscribe if you like glute work. That's all I got for you. Subscribe to the channel. We love you. Hopefully you love us. Peace.